All right. Good Friday morning, Pittston, Pennsylvania, Salt Lake City, and Springfield, Missouri. All right. How you guys doing today? Good morning so far. Today is Friday, July 9th, 2021, and this is your Friday morning meeting. Beautiful weather here in Missouri this week, getting a little warm. We're cruising through the summer, Steve.
We are, Dave.
Up here, I got Steve Field with me. He's our safety director here at Prime. I'm Dave White. I work in safety. Also, we've got some other very important folks here. We've got Brianne and Richard over here running the computers and all that. Without them, we wouldn't be doing this meeting, I can tell you that. And over to our left, we've got Mitch and Andrea who are on Facebook Live. So welcome to the Facebook Live group as well. So glad to have you this morning. So I'd like to start off this morning. Let's throw it up to Pittston. Do we have anybody up there? We got Ricky up there this morning up in Pittston.
Good morning. How is it, everybody?
We're doing good. How about you, Rick?
We're doing good. Good. You know, things are going up here. Spa's back open and the gym's open. Getting ready to start on the parking lot across the street. We got a lot of stuff going on.
You guys got a gym now, actually, like a basketball court and all that?
We have a gym, not a basketball court. We have
Sorry.
A fitness center. A fitness center. Let me rephrase that.
A fitness center. Good deal. That's a good place to go to every once in a while. So you getting your workouts in, Rick?
Anything else you want to talk about, Dave?
Okay, buddy. And what's going on up there as far as operation side, training and all that? You guys staying busy?
You know, the pad's wide open, and we're upgraded guys every day, and gals, I should say. We're doing a good job up here with the training pad.
Good to hear. If you got any questions, make sure you let us know, Ricky.
We certainly will. Thank you.
All right, let's go out west to Salt Lake City. We got Troy O'Brien.
Good morning. How are you, buddy?
Not too bad. You got that piped in or something, that big yell?
No, we have a bunch of excited PSD and drivers here in Salt Lake City.
Sounds like it. That's awesome. What's going on out in Salt Lake?
You know, it's continual hot. We've been over 100 degrees for the last 7 days, and it's not going to end. And it's beautiful in Salt Lake City, right? Yeah. It's beautiful out here.
But it's a dry heat, though, right, Troy?
It's a dry heat. Yeah, our humidity's about 10%. So, you know, it's not like your heat in Missouri. We're different.
Yes, very much so. So good deal. I'd rather have your heat than ours personally, but we'll deal with what we got to deal with. So,
Right.
So how's the operations group? How's all the training going?
And we're doing great. We've got big crowds of students coming in here. We've got, you know, we're just pounding them through. We got a lot of upgrades coming through. We're getting trucks as we can. So we're doing a good job right now.
Good to hear. Well, if you got any questions, make sure you holler at us, buddy.
We will. Thank you very much.
All right, back here in Springfield, I'd like to ask, really at all three terminals, if you're new to Prime this week, this is your first week of orientation, first week of work, if you could please stand up and be recognized, we'd give you a round of applause. So if you're new, stand on up. How you doing, Steve?
Doing well, Dave. How you
Good
doing?
deal. Good. You want to talk a little bit?
Yeah, just for a second. You know, Troy said something, and before I get to that, you know, we've kind of changed the format of the meetings here as time has gone by. So we don't have our PSDs here today. Kind of a smaller crowd, but a good crowd. But don't forget, we're always on Facebook Live. YouTube Live, so when you're not in the terminal, you can see what's going on, you can see them later, so I think that's a great forum for us to get questions. So a lot of the times we're actually talking to the folks that are watching remotely. And the thing Troy said is we're getting trucks when we can, and you know, that's really an issue we're having right now. We're looking at our upgrades, and folks are getting anxious. You know, you told me I'd upgrade at this point. I haven't had any accidents. I've been doing great up here, but I haven't been able to upgrade yet, and that is a little bit of a challenge for us right now because trucks are in short supply, and we've made a lot of adjustments here at Prime. We normally will sell our trucks when the warranty runs out. We've kind of been able to work some deals where we're keeping those trucks just a little bit longer. That's keeping us going. We've slowed down the selling of other trucks. We're working with all our OEMs to just get trucks as soon as we can, but they're facing challenges too. There's challenges with getting parts. There were challenges with the factories being closed, but I can guarantee you this: we are working as hard as we can for the folks that want to upgrade, that we will get you upgraded just as soon as possible. I think the logjam is going to break here somewhat in the next couple weeks, and we'll see a lot more upgrades. We're ready. We're just literally waiting on the truck. So I just want to update you on that. We're not holding anyone back. We don't want people to come in here and sit and wait for a truck. We want it to be as seamless as we can. You come in and we get you out, maybe in just a couple of days. So that's kind of an update on where the truck situation is right now, and it will change. Everything is cyclic, and soon we'll have plenty of trucks and we'll be back on upgrading on schedule. But I do just want to update you on that. So thanks for bringing that up, Troy.
All right, let's jump into some safety numbers this past week. We had a total of 119 DOT inspections. 86 of those were clean ones for a 72% clean rate. A really good week this week. So paid out $7,375 on clean inspections. So you get a clean inspection, you get rewarded for it. That means no violations whatsoever on it. And we love paying you out on those because it definitely improves our safety record and our safety numbers with the states and with the federal government. So let's keep those going. Keep doing a good job. We did have one little hiccup this past week. We had a rollover accident occur on our flatbed side, and this occurred up on I-80 in Iowa, Earlham exit. Some of you may know approximately where that's at. Driver was a flatbedder hauling a load of onions. He had his tarps up on the sides because when you're hauling onions, that's what you do. But if it starts raining, you got to drop those tarps to cover those onions or you'll ruin the load. So the driver decided to pull off at the exit ramp and got off and got too far over onto the shoulder, and next thing you know, rolled over. Thank goodness our driver was okay, no injuries. He had a seatbelt on. Everything worked out for him. It was, he came out unscathed, and that's the best part of this. But the worst part, stopping on shoulders and all that to drop his tarps, probably not the best idea. And especially the shoulder, when the wrecker company sent us a picture of, it's about 6 foot wide, not very wide shoulder, and it had been raining, so the ground was wet, and it didn't take much. A pretty good drop off the side of the shoulder. So, caution everybody, if you stop on the shoulder, watch where you're stopping. Not really advisable. If you could get to a rest area, a truck stop, that's a lot better place to be doing that. Technically, I would be honest, the only time you should be stopping on shoulders is if your truck's broke down or you're broke down. You have some type of medical issue going on, you need to stop, that's what they're there for. But stopping to drop your tarps, maybe not, it's not really advisable. You have better places to do that. So, that's the bad thing about that this week. Steve, you want to jump in on anything on that?
No, I think you covered that well, Dave.
Okay, moving on. This next week, July 11th through the 17th, is Operation Safe Driver Week, and that's nationwide through CVSA. Just want to give everybody a heads up. You will see increased enforcement out there on our highways, looking at all vehicles, just not commercial trucks. We're looking at cars too. They're focusing on speeding, so watch your speeds out there on the highways, especially in construction zones. This past week when I did inspections, I had a couple, and really a couple is too many on this, is just going a little too fast in construction zones. They will stop you and write you even 3, 4, 5 miles an hour over. Police will still stop you. Speed limit's what the speed limit is, so keep below that speed limit. So watch that this next week. You'll see more enforcement. Also, they're looking at distracted driving, cell phone use, things like that. In a commercial vehicle, we allow you to use that one touch button, and that's it. Don't be playing with your phone or don't be moving your phone, because if you are, they will stop you and write you for that too as well. Georgia is, we get the most inspections on the cell phone violation from the state of Georgia. So they do a good job watching over the bridges. I guess they're looking down on us. That's kind of what our drivers have told me. with binoculars, just seeing what the driver's doing inside the truck. So stay away from using your cell phone. If you can, my advice is keep it back in the bunk, and then you never have to worry about it. And you can still use the one touch if you need to take that phone call. If you're talking on your cell, on your headset, I should say, just limit those phone calls. That distracted driving is cognitive as well. So meaning that when you're going down the road, you may not realize you're distracted, but if you're on a long phone call with your family or with your kids, that's a distraction in itself because you're focused on that phone call, not focused on safe driving. So, keep that in mind. Limit those phone calls if you have to take them. If we call you in safety, your fleet manager calls you, say, hey, can you wait till I get stopped at a rest area or truck stop? I'll call you back. And that's fine. We will hang up and that's it. We'll wait till you get stopped. And that's the best place to do that is when you're stopped. Finally, they're also going to be checking for seatbelts. And that's an easy one, really. We've got the orange seatbelts here at Prime. For some of you who don't know this, the reason we went to orange, because years ago, many of our drivers were claiming they had their seatbelts on. We had the tan ones, but the officer couldn't see it. And so officers thought, well, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So we went to the orange. So there's no issues with that. The color, pretty bright, sticks out there. You got it on. They should be able to see it, and make sure you're wearing it properly. It's over your chest. It's nice and tight to your chest. You can't have your arm over the loop. It's not wearing it properly. They'll write you for not wearing a seatbelt. So next week, that's what's going on out on the world of safety out on the highways, and operate safely. That's what we ask you to do. We just want you to be safe out there. You are our family. All the new folks here, welcome to the Prime family as well. And we want you safe, and we want you to get home safe to your families as well.
Any questions on the safety side before we kind of move along? Bill? 1 second, we'll get the mic to you.
Just a quick note, you were talking about Georgia up on the overpasses looking with binoculars for phone use or seatbelt or what have you. There are some states that actually will have officers in commercial vehicles so that they're up high just like you, and they can look in and see exactly what you're doing in the cab.
That is true. They come at it in multiple different ways. So, yep, good point. Troy or Ricky, you guys got any questions up there?
I've had a couple of phone calls this week regarding the same issue, and what the drivers are asking is did our numbers change as far as our CSA numbers? And they really haven't changed, but the reason for the more enforcement is COVID is starting to end here, and more and more officers are getting out on the road and stopping more vehicles. So numbers didn't change, just more enforcement.
That is true, Rick. Thank you. Paul?
Before we get to our speakers today, I just want to go kind of give you a big picture of what's going on. If we go back to March 13th, 2020, that was the first safety meeting that we had to cancel because of COVID. And I know everyone is tired of talking about COVID. They're tired of hearing about it. But let me tell you, we are not out of the woods yet. We've made progresses as a country. We've made progress as a company right here. And we get questions all the time. When can we get back to when can we have our picnics? When can we have our million-mile dinners? When can we have the Christmas party, the Highway Diamonds, the Instructor of the Year banquet? When can we do all that stuff? And the answer to that is we can do it when it becomes safe again. And we're moving that way, but we're not there yet. And I'm not going to dictate to anyone what you do. This is truly a free country, but I will recommend to you that you think long and hard about the vaccine. I've had it, Dave's had it. We got in the very first group. We got down there, and we're very fortunate to have Trinity Healthcare here. They can't do it every day, but Tuesdays and Thursdays they do vaccinating here. It's readily available throughout the country. We're very, very fortunate that we are in a country where the vaccine is readily available. The majority of the countries out there, they would give anything for what we have right here as far as the vaccine goes. It's a personal choice. You're going to have to make it for yourself. I'm not going to tell you. Prime's not going to tell you. You have to have it. But please think long and hard about it. We need you. And more importantly than that, your family needs you. And there's articles every day in the paper where people are sick. sometimes worse. I wish I had gotten the vaccine. And at that point, it's too late. And I'm not going to belabor the point, but we're very fortunate to have it readily available here. My personal belief is that it works, that it's a game changer, that if you still contract COVID, it's going to be relatively minor, maybe to the degree of a small cold or something, maybe no symptoms, asymptomatic is what they call it. But without the vaccine, the chances are much greater that it can be a life-threatening event for you. So enough said about that. If you have questions about it, I'd be more than glad to talk to you about it. We've got Trinity Healthcare right downstairs with a great staff that can talk about it to you. If you're concerned about the side effects of a pre-existing condition that you may have, is it safe for me to get the vaccine? Dr. Abraham and his staff are great about it. They've gotten us this far, but again, we're not out of the COVID woods yet. And unfortunately, right here in Southwest Missouri down into Arkansas, it's kind of become a hot spot. If you remember 6 months ago, we were worried about people coming into Prime. What if they're coming from a hot spot? Well, we are the hot spot now. So please take care of yourself out there. Enough said about that.
Yeah, that's enough about
I'm
that.
sorry.
We have some safety questions.
Sure.
Denise said, about safety, how long do incidents and accidents stay on your record?
Fair question. The question was, how long do accidents and incidents stay on your record? Really, as far as Prime goes, they're always on your record, but we always give everything a time wait. An accident that happened 10 years ago really is not of much of a significance to us. We're really looking at a driver's last year or two. And even when you're qualifying for the 1,000,000 miles, if you've got what's called that permanent anniversary date, an accident then only impacts you for 1 year. So an accident is not a death sentence to you with your safety record. They do gradually become less and less relevant.
And then we have a question from Sean. He said, CSA score compared to our competitors.
The whole CSA system is a comparison with our competitors. That's how it works. It's kind of a unique system in that some companies will always be failing. They'll be above the threshold. The one that's the most important to me is our crash basic, and on that one we do very well against our competitors. And a lot of the credit for that actually goes to Dave right here, because he's responsible for challenging accidents. For years, we've always complained, I get rear-ended going down the road. I get hit by a drunk driver. Someone comes across the median and hits me, and it impacts my CSA record. And that was true for years. And to their credit, the FMCSA tested a program, and they put it into full force now that we can challenge accidents like that. And Dave's very good at that. What about a 95, 97% success rate?
Yeah, roughly. Yep.
And we get those literally taken off the driver's record and taken off Prime's record as far as the calculations go. So as far as crash goes, we're doing really, really good. The two areas, well, probably three areas that we probably do need to always be working on. One is hazmat. We haul so few hazmat loads, we don't get a lot of clean inspections, so one inspection with a violation impacts us negatively. Hours of service, it's the small stuff. We've really ramped up our training. Our classes are back now live 5 days a week in the plaza. We're working on getting those sent remotely to Pittston and Salt Lake City, because it's not that we're going over hours or driving fatigued, it's that we forget how to transmit our logs to the officer, or we can't find our paper log book, or we haven't certified our logs daily, and those all count against us. So hours of service is one we want to work on harder. And finally, unsafe driving. A lot of stuff rolls up into that. We kind of sit right at the okay mark, but we want to be better than that. So we keep pushing on that those violations, whether it's missing a scale, that's a big one. Sometimes illegally parking becomes a failure to obey a traffic control device or a sign. All of those impact us. So working together, we can bring those down.
We have a question from Jerry. What is the update on the CPAP machines?
CPAP machines. We talked about that several weeks ago. Just when we think, okay, we're coming out of COVID, we're into summer, everything is good. Then we had a major recall on our primary vendor of our CPAP machines. And one thing this has told us is that our folks, the majority of them that use the CPAP, realize that it is important. This is not a gimmick. This is not a idea to make money or make anyone's life miserable. It's an idea to make you healthier, to sleep better, to not constantly stop breathing while you're sleeping. So we found out with this recall that people really do want to have their CPAP. And Heather down in Cardinal Sleep, which is right downstairs below us, has done a tremendous job getting replacement machines from another major vendor. We've been able to get enough machines for all the folks that have the most serious level of sleep apnea, and now we're working our way down the list. And what Heather's also done is anyone that had a machine impacted by the recall, she's already registered it. That entitles you to get a free machine, and it'll either be from our original vendor or the replacement vendor, and that'll come into Heather. She'll set it up for you, set the right pressure amount, and then basically you get a brand new machine for it. We're working through that. I'd like to think in the next month or so we'll be a good ways through all our drivers. Remember, we've got about 15 or 1,600 that are in our sleep program. But your point of contact on that is always Heather at Cardinal Sleep. Okay.
Steve, you need a CPAP machine? You've been going at it, man, nonstop, word after word.
I'm an expert sleeper, Dave.
I hear you. So let's move on to our speakers.
Sure.
You want to get Brianne up here?
Bring one up, sure.
So Brianne, we're going to ask Brianne to come on up from IT. She's always great to listen to, got some great information, so you're on the spot.
Good morning. I'm Brianne from the IT department, and I just thought I'd give a couple reminders about the mobile app. We do try to put a lot of our messages that used to be messages into the news section. So those are there whenever you have time to look through them. But it allows us to put a lot more information in those news items. So you can click on there and there's a little part where you can view all, you can see all of the recent news items. And then inside those news items, you're able to see links. So that's kind of the, Richard, will you hit me? You can see those links, and it will put the hyperlinks in there. So you have your news articles with things like the driver advisory board, the announcements that are out there. If there's links for you to sign up or things like that, we can put those links right in there. So it makes it really easy if you want to participate in those items. So those are out there. We also recently added for kind of the situation we're in now when we have some people on site and some people working from home. Under my contacts, you can now see if your fleet manager, your road assist, your logs person, your payroll person, those people are on site or off site. So if you're planning on going to a terminal to find them, things like that, you'll be able to know if they're on-site or off-site. So just a little bit of helpful to hopefully let you know if they're in the building or not so you can get a hold of them. And that's all that I have, unless you have questions.
When you said about on-site and off-site stuff, is there anything you can do for like the weekend and night crew, like who's covering and stuff?
So Road Assist is really good on theirs. Theirs will update if you have somebody covering for Road Assist, and we're working on a way for the fleet managers to do that. Operations has asked us to look for that, and so that's our next piece.
Some of the drivers we were talking, and I know on the in-house employees Prime portal, they're able to see what's in the cafeteria's menu for the day or the day before. Are you able to add that link to the drivers portal at all in some way?
We're going to as soon as we get Salt Lakes up there. So now that Salt Lake has a cafeteria, they're getting registers here very soon, so you'll be able to do badge swipes and everything there. And we're going to get their menu added, and we'll put all 3 of them on the mobile app.
Can you talk about why we don't show the email? Sorry. Hello.
Oh, the reason that we don't put the email, a lot of people ask this on the contacts, why we don't put your fleet manager or anybody else's email address, and that's because email is not always covered by someone else. The phones roll to somebody else, and so do the Qualcomm messages, but emails are not always done that way. So that's why we don't put that email. If you need to get a hold of somebody and it's something important, you need to make that phone call or you need to send that Qualcomm message or Prime Mobile message.
Thank you.
Hey, why is not my fuel locations not coming up on my app?
Like where your truck is?
No, where the best fuel stops are.
Like when you run the macro?
Yes. It's not coming up on my app. It'll come up on the Qualcomm, but not my app.
Most likely because you don't have set to all messages. I would look in your settings, and if not, you can come see me right after, but there's a spot in your settings in your app, and so if you're not set for all messages, you'll only get those high priority messages, and that one's probably not a high priority. So that's the first thing you should check, is under settings, make sure you have all messages turned on.
We have another question from Evelyn. She said, can they please return the swipe feature from message to message in the app?
I don't want to crush your dreams, but the answer is no. That's just not a feature that we can offer anymore. We upgraded to a new version of our app, and that's just not something we can do. We're trying to move to some different types of messages and things where we can kind of group. You see that they're grouped a little differently now, where you can respond in that conversation, and it just doesn't, that's just not something we can do.
I have the Android, the Samsung, and when you go to send, when you're sending something and getting ready to take a picture of something else, right where it says at the top, like to take the picture, it's already like taking, or it's.
Give you your notification that that image was sent?
Yes, and it hits it right when I get ready to take the picture.
So if you have an Android phone, you can go into your settings, like your phone settings, and then find the app, and you can turn off that particular notification. So if you will come see me afterwards, I'll show you exactly where it's at. But in those notifications, there's one that says like, I can't remember exactly what it says, but you have like your message notification, and there's like sent document notification, and you can turn one of those off, and they will stop showing you that message. Anybody else?
Any other questions for Brianne?
Denise,
How about Salt Lake, Pittston?
we have one about the, about the message. Why do we get so many dispatch loads when they're already sent the originals ones out?
The messages go, if there's a change that's made to it, they can send those out. We're trying to cut down on some messages. Clearly, that's not, we're not always doing it, but most likely because they made a change to the load.
Okay.
Personal conveyance. Why in the world do we get so many personal conveyance messages? We know what we're supposed to do, when we're supposed to be using personal conveyance.
This guy can answer.
But why do we keep getting them? I mean, I get tired of hearing, look, you know.
It turns out we really don't know when we should be using it. Personal conveyance presents a lot of challenges for us, and sometimes people do inadvertently leave themselves in that status. And let me tell you, the highway patrol, the enforcement out there, that's one of the main things they're looking at. How did you get from here to here on basically off duty when you're going to get your load or you're delivering a load? Honestly, we would rather over message you on the personal conveyance, and I promise you, if we ever get to the point where we don't have any personal conveyance violations, I'll turn it off. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, quick question. It used to be the fuel price notification going up or down used to be in the Qualcomm stream, and then they put it on the app only. And I noticed it doesn't populate the app necessarily in a timely manner, whereas, and you won't get it sometimes till the end of the day, or 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. For some reason, it won't populate. But if it's on the Qualcomm stream, it's right there, in a timely manner. Is there any consideration maybe putting it back on there as a redundancy, or?
No.
Okay.
It's just going to go down there in the news only because we don't want it to be a distraction. And so that's kind of one of those, while not in motion kind of things to check. It kind of depends on when they get those updates to be able to put them out. So that's probably where the delay is really coming from. It's just what time it gets posted. But trying to really cut down some of those unnecessary messages and put those things in the news when we can.
Did somebody ask about trip sheets yet? Okay. No. Austin said, can we get trip sheets in the app?
Yes, that one I will say yes to. We are working on it. We're having a little trouble right now figuring out where we're going to put some of those, the blanks that are at the bottom where you can fill in your expenses. That's the part that we're working on right now. They're kind of important in our process. They start a lot of things on the back end, so we're figuring out how to make it happen, but it is definitely on our high priority list.
Thank you.
No one was really excited for that like I thought you were going to be, but.
All right.
All right, Richard and I sit right over here
Sorry,
afterwards.
one more because this does come up a lot on social media. Can we change duty status through the app?
You cannot, and there's no plan to add it right now. That's just one of those things that Qualcomm kind of dictates to us. You have to have the device of record, and that is that device in the cab, and that's the only place that you can change your duty status from. So we would love to, but we just can't. It's not up to us. So the best we can do is show you what they'll let us, and that's kind of where we end up on that one.
If people have issues with the app, because there's a few more here, individual issues, who should they call or email?
You can send a message to Prime Mobile Help. We answer every single one of those. You can send an email to primemobile@primeinc.com, or that's about it. You can come see us after the meeting if you're in the terminal. Our help desk here, we have somebody in Pittston and in Salt Lake that can help as well if you're in one of the terminals. We have a help desk phone number that you can call. It's 417-521-3148, and we can help you 24/7. And I'm done.
Thanks, Brianne. You know, I think that portion right there is just a perfect example of why we have these meetings. What a great opportunity to be able to ask questions from the expert right here, get questions from anyone out there in our fleet. So we certainly appreciate those questions, and having the interactiveness of it really makes for a good meeting. So thanks to Brianne and Richard, and as Brianne mentioned, they're always over here after the meeting. Be glad to help you with any issues you're having with the app, because we want it to work for you. Next, we've got Matt Hancock. You know, sometimes we kind of overlook the importance of being healthy out on the road. You know, Dave and Dennis and myself, you know, we've been involved in far too many drivers that we've lost out on the road. It's always a tragic situation, obviously, for the family, for Prime to lose someone like that. And, you know, sometimes the answer is pretty close by. And I think a lot of it is here with Matt and his staff with Driver Health and Fitness. So go ahead, Matt.
All right, thanks, Steve. Like Steve said, my name is Matt. I'm the Driver Health and Fitness Coordinator here, for those of you that don't know. And in Driver Health and Fitness, we like to think of things a little bit outside of the scope of just the exercise and nutrition field. Hence the reason that we partnered with Good Dads and Drew here to put together a program called Primed for Life. And we're going to hit on that here in a second. And first off, you probably are thinking, why'd I hold a dumbbell up here? And it's not just to get a workout. And so this right here, we have been looking for creative ways to give drivers ways to get healthier, to exercise inside and outside of your truck. This is one of the best things I came across. This is something that is really space efficient for the inside of your truck. You can work out inside or outside. And I've been working with this company for the last probably year and a half trying to get these dumbbells for our drivers. This is something that, of course, 2020 hit. COVID hit, and the garage gym, home gym, phase hit. So they were sold out for a long time. And so here in the future, we're going to do a pre-order process for these, where if you want some, you can buy some. We're going to have kind of a base package, and this is going to be the base package. There's going to be 2 of them. I just didn't want to haul both of them downstairs. They're going to be 10 to 50 pounds, and estimated price on that, and some of you might gasp, but it's $338 for that. But you think about it, you're going to get 2 dumbbells that'll fit easily in your truck, so you can basically set yourself up for a rolling gym. And on top of that, what we're also going to do in DHF, and this is also open to in-house as well. So if you're in-house and you want a way to work out at home and you want some of these dumbbells, open to everybody. And we're going to put a program together in DHF to where we can show you how to use the dumbbells for upper or lower body, everything that you want to do for a good muscle building weight loss routine. So keep that in mind coming forward. And we're going to have a video. I'm going to get with Andrea and make a video here in the near future to kind of showcase these, to show you how to use them, and to advertise them a little bit more. We're also going to try to do with that is add some add-on kits where you can do 50 to 70 pounds, 70 to 90 pounds, in case you need a little bit of extra weight if you've been working out before. And then they also make travel benches. These travel benches actually slide in and fit behind your driver's seat in case you want to do something like that. So it is an option as well. And so keep your eyes open for that in the future. And like I said, we're going to do a program. We're going to put it on our driverhealthandfitness.com website for that. But that's not all we do. So in driver health, we also focus not only on the exercise and nutrition, but we also focus on the mental health, stress management, and really getting your mind right as well as your body. And that's why we partnered with Good Dads and Drew here, who's a licensed counselor who helps out with that program. And I'm going to let you run through it, Drew.
Hey, I'm Drew. I'm with Good Dads, and we started with Matt the Prime for Life program. What it is it's mental health counseling over the road. So we use Skype, or we can use whatever platform that you're comfortable with. And it's 50-minute sessions for $40 a session, which is probably the cheapest you're going to find if you were to go into a licensed counselor. And really what we can help with is anxiety, stress, depression, relationship issues. I myself was on a submarine for 4 years, so I know what it's like to be gone for long periods of time. And actually, I got married, then went on deployment for about 10 months. And so, yeah, she really enjoyed that. And so our only form of communication was actually over the email. So I've been there. I know what it's like to have to deal with the stress of kind of taking care of your home, but then also being on the road. Doing your job. So we can help you come up with strategies. We can help you come up with techniques to kind of maintain your driving life and then also your home life.
Yeah, and it's really been a fantastic program to offer so far. You know, a lot of our drivers don't fall into that company driver category. Of course, the company driver category, you have like your employee assistance program and several mental health resources through that. So what we wanted to do was build something that not only company drivers could use, but also our lease independent contractors could use for that, because we know not everyone has the, accessible insurance and accessible mental health services. So we really wanted to get that so our whole fleet could use it. And you can find more information on this on driverhealthandfitness.com. We have some flyers up here as well, and me and Drew will hang out afterwards. If you guys want to come up, ask us any questions, talk to Drew, see how it works. We're more than happy to help you out with that.
And I just want to say, we are a private contractor. We are not hired by Prime. Therefore, all your information is confidential. So Prime does not get any of the information that we talk about. It is completely confidential. And so I know that that's been a question. So throw that out there.
Yeah, we would really appreciate the service and everything. If you guys have any questions at all regarding anything we do in driver health and fitness, come holler at us after the meeting. We'd be glad to help you guys out.
Matt, wait. We have some people that are interested in the equipment, but Denise Clark said, how can we work out? We are all running these loads and really not much room in the truck.
So depends. It's kind of a loaded question. I guess it depends on team driver, solo driver. One of the things that I always talk about and kind of preach in working out is don't think of it as like a prototypical workout where you have to be in the gym or outside doing something for an hour. Try for 5 minutes here and there throughout the day, maybe 2 or 3 times a day if you stop and go to the bathroom. If you, stop to get fuel, take a 30-minute break, take 5 minutes on each of those times, and do some of we have exercise videos on driverhealthandfitness.com that's what we have them up there for. So if you want a quick 3, 4, 5, 6 minute video you can do, follow along. Most of the things we do are just body weight exercises, I'll just warn you, just because we don't want everybody to have to buy a bunch of equipment. So driverhealthandfitness.com, we have a lot of videos up there now. We'll have a lot more in the future as well. And so that's my recommendation.
Trucking with Kirsty said, can you talk about the driver health and fitness program for company drivers, the wellness bonus?
I can, yeah. So we also have a company driver wellness program. So this company driver wellness program, we put activities, challenges, programs together for company drivers. You have to be second year and beyond, paying second year insurance rates and beyond, because you'll get health insurance reimbursements each quarter based off of that. So you participate in these activities, challenges, and they're all based on things you can easily do as a team driver, solo driver, out on the road to get you healthier. Our goal with that is really just to teach our drivers different ways to be healthy out on the road and then reward them for the healthy habits through this company driver wellness program. So that's a little bit about it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, you said that's set up for the company. Now, what about for the company drivers that own a leased truck? Would it be still the same way?
For the company drivers who own a lease truck?
No, that runs with the leased truck.
Yeah, so as long as you're a company driver paying those, if you're on the company driver insurance and paying that second year or beyond insurance rates, you are eligible for the program.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Drew. Thank you for your service as well, Drew. And that reminded me of something, and, Dave kind of helped me out on this one. Forrest, come on up for a second. Man, you've been waiting over there, and we are ready for you today, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. How about you?
Good, good. Tell everyone, give us like the 30-second history of Forrest, if you would, please.
Grew up back home in a little farm town, didn't like what I was doing. So my options were slim to none. So it's like, well, I'll join the military. So,
And then what do you do in the military?
Hall Tech, which basically is a welder, firefighter. So did that I'll do it for 10 years, get out, go to the fire department. And it's like, Dad told me, you've done 10, you might as well do the other 10. The hard 10, it's the first part. So the second 10, it's the easy part. So
you knocked out 20 years and you're retired now.
Yep.
And then how'd you get into trucking?
Oh, this is something I've always wanted to do as a little kid. Was always memorized by, the big trucks hauling ass by, when you're in the hammer lane and all that diesel smell. So I was like, oh, what the heck, might as well give it a shot. So here we are.
And how long have you been with us?
11 years.
11 years. That's fantastic. Well, I'm going to need a favor from you.
Okay.
Recognized.
At this time, we like to have all veterans stand and be recognized, please.
Nice. Thank you, Forrest. We appreciate your service to the country and to the company. Thanks very much.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Steve, I got a fun one for you. Can we increase our speed?
We do get that question a lot. I'll take a page out of Brienne's playbook. No. But then I'll go ahead and explain it. We are comfortable with the 65 miles per hour, and there's two big reasons for that. Safety is huge on it, and fuel is huge on it. We've looked at this. We realize it's a big decision, but when we made it probably 15 years ago or something, it really has improved us as a company. It's made us safer. It's given us a better impression with the motoring public out there. We get so many compliments on our drivers. We get them because of the cleanliness of the equipment, how it looks out there, but we really get them on the driving habits out there. And I realize, buddy, you've been driving a long time. Would you be safe driving 70? Yeah, you probably would, but we're going to keep you at 65. And, I hope everyone understands that we just feel it's the right thing to do industry-wide and prime-wise. There's a lot of talk out there of maybe a national speed limit of 65 for big trucks. I don't think it's going to make it too far this year, but it keeps coming up, and at some point that may happen out there. So we're just going to stay right where we are. It's a good question, and I appreciate it. Thanks. Yes.
And you're mandatory 65 on all their. Canada has it mandatory 65, whether you're company, lease, owner, operator. They're governed at 65, period.
Governed is the key word. You're right there, buddy. If a truck goes to Canada, it's got to be set at 65 or less. It's not you're driving 65 or less. So thank you for that too as well. Got another question here.
I've heard that there's this system called Smart Pass, where let's say your truck's governed at 65 and you get some trucks that are doing 68 or 67 and it takes 5 miles to pass them or what have you. What it allows you to do is to go 70 miles an hour, but only for an hour, and then it shuts off. But in other words, you only get that option for whatever a period of time that it's programmed for, and then you still revert back to whatever the governed speed is on the truck.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah, no, I have heard of something similar, and I'm not sure it's for an hour. I think it gives you the opportunity maybe for a short amount of time to go ahead and get around that vehicle. And that's one of my big concerns if they went with a nationwide truck speed limit. If you think there's congestion now, you know, with every truck going the same speed out there, we used to say there was nothing uglier than a JB trying to pass a Schneider out there, and that would take a long time. So, that's something we're aware of, and we'll keep looking at it. Anything else? Okay, there's just so much going on right now in the world, in the country, in trucking, but the one thing that we have that we can depend on is our drivers. And, we appreciate each and every one of you. You do a tremendous job out there. And our job here within the office, within the shop, is to make sure we're supporting you. We do the absolute best that we can to support you, whether it's your payroll advisor, your log advisor, your road assist advisor, your fleet manager, the cafe here, the shop. Our job is one thing, and that is to support you to deliver freight out there safely. And I hope you'll realize that we're all in. When you hear our speakers up here, Matt's fairly new to trucking, but you can tell he is truly dialed in on what he can do to help drivers, to make you healthier out there. Every little bit we do is helpful. So I just wanted to let you know we're all dialed in, and that includes truly our owner and founder. He's going to come up here. He's, probably didn't get a Purple Heart for it, but he is slightly wounded, but golly, he's here today because he wants to be here talking to you. So I'm going to ask Robert Lowe to come up and close out the meeting for us today.
Hey, thanks, Steve. Yeah, I think instead of a Purple Heart, this is just like old age. I've been grinding on this shoulder for a long time, and it finally got to me. Finally gave out. But anyway, I'm getting fixed up, so soon I'll be as good as new. And probably not as good as Daryl Hopkins, but I'll be better. So anyway, it's good to see you all. Appreciate what you're doing. Freight is really, really strong. I don't know if we've had any operations. I came in a little bit late, but we've got a lot of freight out there. It's time to get out there and make some bank, as we say. Our customers are begging for trucks. They're begging for more capacity. We're trying to step in there. Sometimes it feels like we take 2 steps forward is very positive, and then we take a step back. So we're watching those load counts, we're watching our customer service, watching our turn down loads, because eventually, it seems like when you're in a part of the cycle, it seems like it'll never end. It'll be this way forever. Well, trust me, folks, I've been in it 51 years, and it'll turn. And our strategy with our customers is to be there through thick and thin. We're there when freight's running good, and we expect them to be there for us when it's not so good. And we sort them out. We cull them if they don't live up to that. Just like we'd expect them to cull us if we don't fulfill our commitments. And that's why it's so important to have the capacity, try to keep our percentage on the road available up. That's the way our deal works. That's our promise given to our customers and our promise kept to our customers. And we live that and work that on a daily basis. So I appreciate your support. I want to see you get home more. That's all important. Just try to balance things and keep in mind what we're really trying to achieve, because it will turn. I hope it's not for a while, but I know that it will. And we'll get through those times very well. So again, I thank you for what you've done. We've done a good job through this pandemic. It is disappointing that we have this resurgence here in the Missouri area, Missouri, Arkansas, maybe Kansas a little bit. And as has been mentioned, the experts, the docs are telling us that it's just because in this area we've had a low vaccination rate. The virus has to have a host to continue to live and pass it on. If you run out of hosts, if people are vaccinated, the transmission rate goes down. So it all kind of works together. So again, we're not requiring it. That's not how we roll, but we just ask you to consider the facts. Look at what's going on here. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your loved ones and friends, and consider getting vaccinated if you're not. So Any questions for me this morning? I should not ask that. I should not suggest that. I walk into it. Girl, don't go anywhere because you maybe have to answer this.
Robert, I thought you knew better than that.
I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this, but usually I ask Steve Wilkie, why is it always when we need home time or we need to get to a terminal, they always give us a hard time? It's not usually my fleet manager, it's usually fleet managers covering my fleet manager. Probably the last 6 times, I have it all on record. I had a tough time getting here. And the last time, 3 weeks ago, when I tried to get home to Connecticut to see my family, I had a tough time. And I had a bobtail or deadhead from Maryland. Every single time, except for the first time I got home, I always have a problem trying to get home or to a terminal. And they always say there's no loads. I just don't like when they lie to us because the load I got here was supposed to pick up Monday and they gave it to me Tuesday. So I know I shouldn't be asking you this because you're the owner, but.
No, it's fine to ask me.
I'm sorry that I had to bring this down.
No, that's fine. Sometimes we're not able to fulfill every request immediately, but I think that we do a pretty good job. And if you're having a hard time getting home, you're not getting home, give me a call or call Mr. Whitkey. Or call, are you in the reefer division or? Yes, sir. Okay. Or call Jim Guthrie. We will get you home. I assure you, we will get you home. You know, strange thing about it, these shippers, they don't feel like they report to Robert Lowe. I wish they did. Things would change, but they say, look, we don't have a logo on there. They don't have a logo. We need you to haul this load. And that's what they tell us, and then it's our job to make all that work. But as of now, they don't report to me a bit, and I'm working on it.
How you doing, Mr. Lowe? I've been on the waiting list for a while for a low choice program, and I think it's still in a limited capacity. Are they planning on expanding it at all, or are they going to keep it the way it is?
Who are they? They,
I don't know. You. Well, yeah, the buck stops with you, Mr. Lowe.
Yeah. We don't want to be a they kind of thing, because that's, when you start saying they did it, it's like an excuse mechanism, right? We're working with low choice. We like the concept. It's very widely misunderstood because it's not a load board. That just would not work in our system. I explained our philosophy, our strategy with our customers. It's served us well. We've grown this company. Really, we do pretty well. And we do well with our customers' business cycle, in a positive way, or business cycle is down. We do well. And that's because we cover the loads that we have. If we mess up service, I'm not doing you any favors or anyone else. We have to protect the service with our customers. I want to accommodate you in every way. I wish everyone could be perfectly happy with, the load they get every time. Why? I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? A lot rather have happy campers out there than a bunch of folks that are unhappy. So we're working on it. It's not there yet for us because we haven't been able to make it work in every respect. And in many cases, drivers are selecting loads that really don't serve their best interest. Maybe they don't see it that way. That's right. You have the right to do that. But at the same time, we have an obligation to you to keep you moving and keep you making money.
I agree on that as far as helping us make money for our company. But I agree with him. We're all adults. I say, be honest with me. You sent me to Massachusetts to pick up a load, and then to get out, you're telling me this is the best load I can get for hardly any money. You send me to Pennsylvania, and you tell me the next load I'm taking out of Pennsylvania, which was a better area, that's the best we have coming out of that area. Stop sending me to them areas. talk to the companies, talk to the shippers and try to get more money. Why are you making me go so many miles as a lease operator? Give it to a company where they need the miles. You know, that's how they get paid, is by the mile. We get paid by the load. If we're not even making $1 a mile, even though it's by the load, it's a loss for us. I brought in $400 last week, $400, and I drove 7 days.
Yeah, and you know, every driver is different. You know, I can tell you that our drivers are making more money than they ever have before. You're not. So if when we have 8,000 drivers out there that are making more than they've ever made before, and you're not making it, you know, look, we need to work through that. I don't know what your issues are.
I appreciate working for Prime. I really do. I'm 55 years old. I absolutely love driving this big rig.
That's great.
I love
and we love you out there
and
too.
the money I've
And we don't
made
care if
here-
you're 55 or 25 or 85.
The money I have made with Prime
we really
is
don't care.
excellent. I
But you
brag
got to
about
ask
it.
yourself, maybe look in the mirror a little bit. When everybody else is making money, you're not. You're not.
Right, or be honest
I mean,
with me,
folks,
you
just
know,
generally, are you making some bank out there right now?
Yes, sir.
This lady isn't.
Right, and 1 week, I'm not saying every week is like that, but I'm saying I'm an adult. Don't tell me this is the best we have just to get you out of that area, just to send me to an area
Look,
that
we
you're
don't
still telling me
want to
the
tell you
same.
anything but the truth. Whatever it is, it is. I'm sorry. If this is the best we have, then that's what we'll tell you. If it's not the best we have, it doesn't fit your situation, you know, we'll tell you that. Okay? But look at your income. Get with your fleet manager. And, you know, this company, you know, if we're not providing what you're looking for,
Oh, no,
Prime is wonderful.
you
We
are,
try-
absolutely. That's why I said I love
But you
driving
gotta,
for Prime.
maybe 55, but you gotta make bank. You gotta make some money. okay?
Absolutely, and
You know what
I do.
I
I'm
don't
just
want?
saying
I don't
that-
want somebody out there making $300 or $400 a week. Why? Because it ruins our reputation. That's not what we're about. You know, our averages, like on our solos, 1,600 last week, something like that. Our teams, our
Right.
team lead drivers,
And I absolutely make.
$3,300 or $3,400 for our team drivers. And that's average. That's
Right, and
all.
that's what I'm saying. I make money with the company. I'm just saying, like he
Well,
said,
you're
be
standing up
honest
in this
with
meeting
me.
and we're
Be honest
we're
with me.
recorded and you're talking about 400 a week. And that's just not realistic with what our folks are doing right now. I'm sorry.
Correct.
Okay. Hey, I'll drink to that. Of course, they say I'll drink to about anything, so.
Mr. Lowe, I just wanted to know the chain of command. I got detention. I've been waiting on for over a year on several loads. And if I'm not getting answers from my lead, from my fleet manager, where do I go after that?
I tell you what, right now, right after this meeting, go to this man right here and we'll look him up and see what's going on. We'll fix that immediately or tell you no detention, you know, whatever the situation is, we'll tell you.
Mr. Lowe, yeah, I have a lot of students. I'm a TNT instructor. And I have a lot of students tell me, I don't want to go to California. And I go to California all the time. I'll take a load out there, makes maybe $1.10, $1.25, but I'll get a load out there that makes $2 to $3 a month. That's the reason I go to California. And they say, well, we don't want to go to California. You're going to make no money going to California. I make it up coming out of California.
That's right. You got to look at the whole network. One thing fits with another. You know, it's still, even in this market, you know, there are depressed areas going in. It's got to make up for it going out. And overall, I can tell you it's working. We got the math to show it. And I tell you, sometimes, you know, we just ask you to, you know, to trust the system a little bit. Because look around you. This place wasn't built with smoke and mirrors. I mean, it just wasn't. It was built on, you know, good freight and reality and hard work. Thank God for the hardworking drivers, safe drivers we have. And that's what built this place. It wasn't cheap freight and making bad decisions. It just wasn't.
Just a quick note. I mean, this is a big company and you got good and bad with any big company. It's impossible to have everything good. You got highs and lows, but I've talked to other drivers that have been here a long time and have had problems and things like that and went up the chain of command. And when it gets up to you, the problem gets solved. And I think that's a really good thing to have in a company like this because you are involved in it. And I mean, I'm not trying to placate you or anything, but I'm just saying that's what I've heard. And it's not like that with a lot of big companies.
Well, thank you. It's probably not me fixing it, but I'll find somebody to fix it. Anyway, folks.
I have one more.
Okay.
But you're also a boss or the owner that would say, here's my number. Call me if you have a problem. There's a lot of companies that don't do that. So I applaud you on say, hey, call me. You know, I mean, I complain a lot, but, you know, I still make good money. This is probably the best company. I'm glad I came here. I haven't seen the other 48 states. I came here to Prime. You know, and I was able to see the West Coast, and I finally have a banking account. When I was back home, I was working check by check. Now I have a bank account. You know, my lease is up in December, bought a new truck, you know, so I applaud you, even though, you know, I started a little bad war right here. I'm sorry. But, you know, sometimes we just complain over stupid stuff, but I appreciate what you do for us drivers. You know, what kind of company has amenities building or you know, a building where you could come here, play gym, you know, go basketball. I mean, there's no other company out here that has 3 major terminal hubs and the 4th one being built. If you look at all these other big companies, they got trailers as their freaking drop yards. It's disgusting. So I applaud you on what you give us drivers, and I know I complain a lot, so thank you.
Hey, it's okay to complain. There are no small issues. We want to take it in every aspect. We want to be the best. We want to take you. We want to delight you as the customer, just like our shippers. We want to delight the customer, and we want to delight you with our offering. You know, one of the things I think differentiates us when we get through all the stuff, because you can have nice brick and mortar, but if there's not respect and appreciation for the driver, it's no good. And it starts with the hiring process here as we hire in-house. Part of it is the training of the in-house, and part of it is really our insistence on respect for the driver. I appreciate you all. I respect you. God bless you, and please be safe.
Yeah.